Hi, I'm Jason Sterling, and this is going to be the first, I hope the first, in a series of videos on Sundays, a sort of Sims Sunday chat. I'll call it a chat. It's not really a chat. I'm not talking to anybody. These are pre-recorded, although I'll record them, I'm sure, primarily on Sunday, dealing with whatever I consider a sort of topical Sim issue. In this case, on this first one, we're going to talk about The Sims going online, having another sort of Sims Online experience. Excuse me. While we're doing that, I'm going to let my Sims, my RM Cascadian crew, kind of run in the background on autonomy mode and just see what they get into, see if they take care of themselves. Maybe they'll eat, maybe they'll eat, maybe they'll pee, maybe not. Maybe they'll wet themselves, maybe they'll die. I don't know. We'll see. But in the meantime, this week, this very first episode, I'd like to talk about the idea of The Sims Online. It was a topic that kind of came to the forefront this past week. Some sort of EA executive mentioned it in conjunction really with just The Sims 5. And I don't remember who it was, and it doesn't matter. But it kind of got people talking about it, and so I set a poll on Twitter, and the poll basically asked, as far as The Sims Online goes, would you want it to be basically the Sims 5 iteration to be online? That would be an entirely online experience. Would you prefer an expansion pack type of add-on that would be completely optional? So you could either play it or not as you wanted to, or you could add it to your game or not as you wanted to. And that could work for either 4 or 5. I mean, the article dealt with The Sims 5, but if they did it for 4, it was kind of to judge that as well. Or would you prefer it was a completely standalone game that had nothing to do with whatever the current main Sims game was? Or the last option, the fourth option was, would you never want it online, period? You just don't see The Sims as an online game. It's an offline game. You don't want it, period. Not in any way, not optional, not add-on, not at all. So the poll was surprising. There was one really big surprise for me in this poll. The first thing, though, was the number of people who wanted The Sims 5 to be totally online, to just be a completely online experience. That I thought it'd be about 5%. It was about 7%, so pretty much in line with what I thought. There is a certain segment of the player base that would like to see, just have it be online, have it be like, some other sort of online game. The thing that surprised me, though, the thing that really took me by surprise, was the number of people who insisted it never be online, any shape or form. Not optional, not on or off, not at all. They did not want it, and that was 31%, which is almost a third. I keep calling it a third because essentially I think it is a third of the playing base, at least in this poll, which is completely unscientific, and I'm not a scientist either, but in this poll, a third's a lot. Don't want to see it at all, online in any shape or form. I'm going to come back to that here in a minute and talk about why that may be, but I was really surprised by that. I expected maybe 10% is what I thought we would get there. About 10% of the people say, no, I don't want it online, period. It was a third. Okay, that's a lot. That's statistically significant. Very significant. You can't ignore it. So also the number of people that wanted it to be a standalone game was pretty much what I thought. About 25%, about a fourth of the people felt it should be a standalone game that has nothing to do with whatever the current main Sims game. So a lot like the Sims Online would have been back when we had The Sims 1. So that's 25%. And then this was a surprise, only about 40% felt it should be an optional add-on to either The Sims 4 or 5. Or both, I guess it could be both. That surprised me. I thought it'd be about 60%. Obviously, I was wrong. 20% of the people I felt maybe wouldn't want to do it, but wouldn't care if it was an add-on, absolutely did not want to do it. So that's where those numbers swapped. The number I thought would be higher, 60%, was added to the people who just don't want to see it. And let's talk about that. A third is a lot of your base to say we don't want something. Now, I think there's really 3 issues involved in this. One is history. One is, if you're like me and you played The Sims Online, 18 years ago, and you're like me, you are me, you didn't like it. You hate it. In fact, I hated it. I barely got through 6 months of it. And the last couple of months, I really didn't play it a lot. It wasn't like I was on there all the time trying to interact or anything, because the first few months were just not really very good. It was boring. It was tedious. It was limited. There were never very many people online. And the way you made money online was you were supposed to go work, say, at a pizza place, and you would go there, but 9 times out of 10 you were all by yourself at some place that required 6 people, so you had to run around and do every single station, and it was just a repeat and repeat, and then at the end you got hardly anything out of it, because the more people you had, the more pizzas you could make, so the more money you would make, but then there was never anybody there, right? So it really wasn't a great memory for me. When people talk about The Sims going back online, I'm just like, I don't know. The other part of history is SimCity 13, which is Max's most recent attempt at going online. I was there for that one as well, and it was a fiasco. It was just crazy. It was awful. It was really too bad too. The SimCity, I think, could have been a great game. I mean, all the parts are there. You could see where they were going with it, and I think if whatever decisions were made hadn't been made that took it in the direction it went in, it could have been a really great game. I do think there were great bones to it, a great idea behind it, but it was awful. It was awful. Oh my God, it was horrible. And part of it was because it was very hard to get online. The servers didn't work. The servers crashed. It was hard to get back to your save. It was hard to get back to where your stuff was. And that leads me to the second concern that people have, and that is internet access. Internet access with an online game is really needed. And when you are someone like myself, and you live in a metro area, I live in a metro area, I live in about 1 million people, I have great internet. I have great internet pretty much all the time. It's very rare it goes out. It's very fast. And, when you are in Silicon Valley or out there in, in San Francisco, or you're in Austin, or you're wherever they happen to be developing this, chances are you have really great internet, and it probably works really well. But when you're in a lot of places in America, let alone the rest of the world, let alone, say, South America or Asia or parts of Europe, you don't necessarily have great internet. It may be a lot slower. It may not be as reliable. You might not be able to afford it. It might be you just don't have internet. I know a lot of simmers use their phones to post pictures and things of their games. That's because they probably don't have a reliable internet connection. And that's something you have to take into consideration when you're a company. If you're going to make an online game, you need to consider how much of your playing base actually is online all the time. So that's a big concern. That was one. But I think probably the even larger concern, the largest concern was, out of the 3, was why? Why even do it? Why do these Sims online at all? And especially the feeling really was that, trying to get that little box off there. The feeling really was, why do it when there's so many other things we want? I know some of the things listed were just a standard. You're going to not be surprised. Cars, open world, a world creation system, cast. That's mine. I want cast back. Cast. Also, what else would be one of them? Bug fixes. How about those? Bug fixes. Why are we thinking about an online version of a game when we should be thinking about all these other things? Because then you start to get people say things like, once again, this is perception, you guys. Well, they're really not listening to us. Who's been asking for an online version of this game? A few people have. A few. But the vast majority, I don't see that. I see cars a lot. I see open world a lot. I see free the babies from the cribs, for God's sakes, a lot. That's what I see people want. And yet we hear, hey, we're thinking about multiplayer. I get why they're doing it, but that's the concern. And the bigger concern that ties into, the bigger part of that concern ties into that, is that when you're working on something like this, then you're taking resources from the team that could be developing the things that people say they want. Now, I know, it's 2 different groups, it's 2 different teams. I totally get that. But the money you spend on this team developing one thing could always be used to provide more people working on this team doing another thing. So even though it's a valid point, the fact of the matter is that I see where people are coming from with this, and I see why they're concerned. Now myself, here's what I think. I think that it could be done well. I do. I think that the Sims Online, it could be a great experience. I think that there is some requests for it, and I think people would like it. I think a lot of people would like to see it like Stardew Valley. I've never played Stardew Valley, but I've seen a lot of it online. A lot of people seem to really like it. It seems to me a bit like Farmville. And I love Farmville. I loved it. I haven't played it in a long time, but I loved it when it was there. But you know, that's what it seems like to me, and I'm getting a lot of people bringing that up. Also, Minecraft Realms, which I personally do like. I've done that with my son a lot. And one thing I would like for Sims Online would be to be able to interact with my son online. And in a Minecraft Realms type of way where you can control who can come and be in it. And, you know, you can either be just your friends and family, or it could be maybe the public. I mean, I see a lot of Minecraft kind of servers, you know, out there. So I think it'd be great if it could be either way like that. And I do have some hope, some faith and hope that maybe Maxis could do it really well. I mean, I would like to say I'm cautiously optimistic that if they do it, it will be done well. But I think in order to do that, you really have to listen to the base. Listen to your base players. Don't just think about what maybe new people will want, or how are we going to get new people into the game. Think for a while, pretend there's some competition for The Sims, which there's not, but pretend there is. And that you have to not just attract new players, but you have to actually retain your existing group. Because every major corporation in the country does it that way. Disney, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, they don't only think about attracting new players or new consumers. They think about attracting new people and keeping their existing people because they don't want to lose anybody. So think about it like that. How are we going to keep the people who are here? And don't just use telemetry. You know, I don't even know what telemetry is, but back in the early days of The Sims 4, when a lot of things were missing, things like toddlers, we heard the word telemetry thrown around a lot, and the telemetry said that, hey, you know, people don't like toddlers. They don't use them. They don't play with them. But the thing that telemetry doesn't say is why. Why do we not play with them? Why do we not use them? Because people wanted them. And when they were finally put in, like, you know, the player base jumped like 40% or something. 40% more people. That's huge. Start playing the game. So obviously they were wanted despite telemetry, despite what telemetry said. And, you know, did telemetry say laundry? Did telemetry say when they were developing the Sims 4 base game that people are really going to want laundry? They're really going to want knitting. No, of course it didn't. Otherwise, it would have been one of the first couple of packs, I would think, right? Because that's what people want. And that's what people wanted. They wanted laundry for whatever reason. Okay, great. I like laundry pack. Don't get me wrong. I do like it. You can see laundry there on the screen. So that's what they wanted. It's sold. It's like the biggest seller. It's routinely the top of the list when you ask people what their favorite packs are. Stuff packs anyway. And so telemetry didn't tell them that. It didn't tell them that when they started The Sims 4. That, hey, people want laundry and knitting. You know, no, I told them we wanted luxury party. Which was okay. It was okay. It was an okay pack. It's not my favorite. It's okay. People enjoyed it okay. And I don't think it's anybody's favorite. You never see it at the top. Not top 5. But it's okay. So anyway, that's my thing. I think that you need to really talk to people, and you need to really get some real hard data and ask them what they like and what they would want from an online experience. My big fear is that we get mobile Sims as a PC version. Like, hey, everybody, pay us for what we're doing on the mobile Sims for your PC version of The Sims. And I do not want that. I don't want to have to try to invite, like Farmville, 15, I don't have to try to make 15 new friends in order to unlock the chair. I don't want to do that, you know, at all. And I don't want to pay every 10 minutes to increase my clock time. I don't want to do that. I've done that before, been there, done that, sick of it. Got sick of it, really got sick of it, don't want to do that. So, but I do think it can be done good. I do have hope. and I have faith and I have trust that if The Sims decides to do an online version, that it can be done. It can be done well. It can be done well, and they will do it well, and that is my hope. So that ends it for now. That's where I stand. I hope that if they do it, and I think they will, that they do it well, and that they really, really take a lot of factors into consideration. Until next Sunday. Next Sunday, we're going to discuss The Sims, I almost said The Sims 4. No, The Sims, the whole Sims, 20th anniversary. 20th anniversary is Tuesday in 2 days. 2 days from now, the 20th anniversary of The Sims is here. I've been here for the whole thing, like a lot of people, been here for the whole thing. And I really don't see any speculation about what's coming. I don't know if we just don't want to get our hopes up. I don't know if we don't care. I don't know what the deal is. I don't see a lot of speculation about what is coming for the 20th anniversary. I did see Guru Frost say that, well, don't expect, don't get your expectations up. Simmers have a way of letting their expectations get away from them. And yes, we do. Yes, we do. But we have a valid reason sometimes for letting those expectations get away. And this is one of those reasons, the 20th anniversary. 20 years unbroken, 20 years of this game going from one to the next, to the next, to the next, unbroken, and earning, bringing in $5 billion with a B dollars. $5 billion with a B dollars, and that's a lot. That's a lot. That really deserves something. It deserves some sort of recognition for the 20th anniversary. So next Sunday, we're going to talk about that. What did we get, or what did we didn't get? And did we like it or did we didn't like it? That's what we're going to talk about next Sunday. I hope you'll be here. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please hit like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at JasonSterling70. And thank you again for watching. See you later.